Hi everyone, welcome to Miraculous Microbes. I am Dr. R. Vinodni. Today I would like to talk about history of microbiology. Do you know one thing? Microbiology have an extremely interesting past events like many invention, discoveries, informations, etc. With no doubt, I am telling you that this video will be very interesting for you. Before we getting into the topic, now I am showing some of the questions related to the history of microbiology. Here before you can face many of these questions, and I know that many of these questions confusing you a lot. For all those confusion, this video will provide some clarification with reason. So in future you don't want to worry about the confusion in history of microbiology. Let's get started. First, I begin with introduction. Even before the recorded history, humans are dealt with microbes. The first record of human using microbe from the ancient tablets of Mid-East. Over 8,000 years ago, Babylonians used the yeast for beer making. Over 6,000 years ago, they used the acetic acid bacteria for vinegar making. Over 5,000 years ago, in Persia, now it's Iran, recorded the wine making. Roman had a god specific for the microorganism, the Roman god of mold Robigus and Medivh Robigo, which means crop rust. Crop rust is nothing but the plant disease caused by fungus. Over 2000 years ago, Romans proposed that disease was caused by tiny animals. The real microbiology history starts from 1600s when the people start to make crude lenses and microscopes. Discovery of microbes. Roman philosopher Lucretius and physician Girolamo Fracastoro suggested that disease was caused by invisible living creatures. Earliest microscopic observation between 1625 and 1630 on bees and beetles by the Italian Francesco Celluti using the microscope, probably it may supplied by Galileo. Next is Sir Robert Cook. He is the English scientist. He viewed the small objects like eyes of flies, bee stinger, and cells of protozoan using the simple lens that magnified approximately 30 times. He also examined the thin slice of cork, which is the bark of particular oak tree. He made a tiny boxes. It referred as the cells. He published a book, Micrography. In that book comprised his thoughts on history and description of microscope and its uses. In 1665, he described the fruiting structure of mold. He was the first person to describe the microorganisms. Next is the Anton van Leeuwenhoek. He is a Dutch businessman born on October 24 in 1632, Delft, Holland. He grinding the lenses to make a magnifying glasses to examine the fine view of fabrics. He discovered the many small creatures in pond water while checking the lenses, and he named as animal clues. His microscope were crude, relied on a single lens held in a metal plate. In 1677, he was the first person to describe the spermatozoa, RBC, and many unseen life forms like a different form of bacteria, mold spores. He reported all his discoveries to the Royal Society from 1670s to establish the existence of microorganism. But the significance of this history was not apparent for almost 200 years. For his extraordinary contribution to the microbiology, he is known as father of microbiology, bacteriology, and protozoology. Leeuwenhoek observation helped in the development of microbiology but languished for the next 200 years. Little progress primarily started with the help of the microscopic observation of microorganism, but that do not provide a sufficient information to understand their biology. For the development of this discipline, techniques were needed for isolating and culturing the microorganism in laboratory. Many techniques began to be developed as a scientist grappled with the conflict over the theory of spontaneous generation. This conflict and the role played by the microorganism in causing the disease ultimately lead to the golden age of microbiology. Spontaneous generation theory. In earliest period, people have believed in a spontaneous generation, which means living organism could develop from the non-living matter. Even the great Aristotle thought that simpler invertebrates could arise by spontaneous generation. This view was finally challenged by the Italian physician Francesco Redi. He did an experiment with a meat. He placed a meat in a 3 separate containers. The first container was uncovered, second container was covered with a paper, third container was covered with a fine gauze. The flies laid an egg on uncovered meat. The maggots are formed. Second and third container didn't produce any maggots. The flies were attracted to the gauze on covered container and laid their eggs on gauze. Egg produced the maggots. He reported that generation of maggots were not from the decaying meat, resulted from the presence of fly egg. Meat didn't generate the maggots spontaneously as previously believed. Similar experiment by others helped discredit the theory for larger organism. In 1748, the English priest John Needham reported the result of his experiment on spontaneous generation. In his experiment, he boiled the mutton broth and tightly stopped it, observed many of the flasks become cloudy and contained microorganisms. He thought organic matter contained a vital force that could confer the properties of life on non-living matter. Few years later, the Italian priest and naturalist Lazzaro Spallanzani improved on Needham's experimental design. In his experiment, he took a glass flask with water and seed, boiling for an hour. No growth was observed as long flask remained sealed. When a flask opened, the growth was observed immediately. He proposed that air carried the germs to the culture medium and also commented that external air might be required for the growth of animals already in the medium. So the supporters of spontaneous generation maintained that heating the air in a sealed flask destroyed its ability to support the life. Next is the Theodore Swan did an experiment to disprove the spontaneous generation. In his experiment, he allowed air to enter a flask containing the sterile nutrient solution after the air had passed through the red-hot tube. The flask remained sterile, no growth was observed. In this way, he tried to disprove the spontaneous generation. Subsequently, George Frederick Skoda and Theodore von Dasch allowed air to enter a flask of heat-sterilized medium after it had passed through the sterile cotton wool. No growth even though the air had not been heated. He also disproved the spontaneous generation. Finally, the French naturalist Félix Pauchet climbed in 1858, proving that microbial growth could occur with air contamination. In this way, he supports the spontaneous generation. Next is the Louis Pasteur. He did a two experiment to disprove the spontaneous generation. In his first experiment, he filtered the air through the cotton and found that resembled some particles, the plant spores, and placed a piece of a cotton in a sterile medium. The growth was observed. The second experiment is the gooseneck experiment. This experiment was done with the Pasteur-Swan neck flask. In this experiment, he placed a nutrient solution in a flask and boiled the solution for a few minutes and cooled it. No growth was observed, even the flask mouth was exposed into the air. He pointed out the absence of growth because of the dust particle settled on the wall of curved neck. If we broken the neck of the flask, the growth was seen immediately. In this way, he disproved the spontaneous generation strongly. Pasteur had not only resolved the controversy by 1861, but also had shown how to keep solutions sterile. Next is the English physicist John Tyndall. He did a final blown on a spontaneous generation in 1877. He pointed out dust carry the germs. If the dust is absent, the broth will be sterile even if directly exposed to the air, and also provided the evidence for the existence of heat-resistant form of bacteria. Next is the German botanist Ferdinand Cohen worked independently and discovered the existence of heat-resistant bacterial spores. Finally, Louis Pasteur disproved the spontaneous generation theory by gooseneck experiment and proved the biogenesis. Biogenesis is nothing but the production of new living organism or organelles comes from the other living thing. His concept of germ theory of the disease ends the spontaneous generation theory. Microbiology starts with the disproval of the spontaneous generation theory. Next, we are going to see the contribution of many scientists for the development of microbiology. First, I start with the contribution of Louis Pasteur. He is a trained chemist of France. His studies on fermentation of wine led him take to interest in the microbiology. He is known as founder or father of modern microbiology. The microbiology blossomed during a period beginning in a year of 1857 with the work of Louis Pasteur, which is referred as the golden age of microbiology. In the year 1861, he mentioned the existence of the anaerobic life. For this, he conducted experiment. First, he passed a stream of air through some of the culture. Next, he passed the stream of carbon dioxide through some other culture, which is anaerobic condition. Finally, he found the growth in both cultures. This effect is called as the Pasteur effect. He discovered the fermenting fruits are converted to alcohol by microbes. Here the fermentation started. The sorted different microbes giving a different taste of wine. He selected a particular strain of yeast for the high quality wine. He also developed a method to remove the undesired microbe from the juice without affecting its quality. He heating a juice at 62.8 degrees Celsius for half an hour, which is called as the pasteurization. Nowadays it was commonly used in the field of milk industry. He also discovered the parasite causing pebrine disease of silkworm, and he suggested that free caterpillar can eliminate the disease. He also isolated the anthrax causing bacilli from the blood of cattle, sheep and human beings. He also demonstrated the virulence of bacteria. Virulence is nothing but the ability of microbe to cause the disease. Next, he developed the vaccine against the rabies from the brain and spinal cord of rabbit. Some of his important contributions in microbiology are developed a method and technique for the cultivation of the microorganism and conclusive evidence for the microbes in disease production, introduction of the sterilization technique and development of the steam sterilizer, hot air oven and autoclave. His studies on silkworm disease, anthrax, chicken cholera and hydrophobia. The Pasteur introduced the attenuated live vaccines for prophylactic use, and he demonstrated the protective role of anthrax and rabies vaccine. For his extraordinary contribution, the Institut Pasteur Paris was built by public contribution. Next is the John Tyndall. He also developed the sterilization method, which is called as the Tyndallization, which is intermediate or fractional sterilization. The subsequent cooling and heating by steam for 3 days will remove the germs and their spores. Next is the Robert Koch. He is a German general practitioner. He perfected the bacteriological technique and introduced the method for isolation of pure strains of bacteria. He introduced agar as a setting agent in bacteriological media. He isolated the first bacteria, that is the anthrax bacillus, in pure culture. He introduced the staining techniques. The important discovery of Robert are anthrax bacilli, tubercle bacilli, cholera vibrios. He is known as the father of medical microbiology. Koch defined the criteria for attributing an organism as the cause of specific disease. These are famous Koch postulates. The organism should be constantly associated with the lesions of disease. The organism should be isolated from the lesions in a pure culture. The isolated organism in a pure culture, when injected in a susceptible animal, should produce the disease. From the lesions produced in the experimental animal, the microorganism must be demonstrated both in smear and culture. And also, additionally, he introduced that antibody to the organism usually developed during the course of disease. Next, in the Walter Hesse and Fine E. Hesse, they use the next is the Walter Hesse and Fine E. Hesse. They use the agar instead of the gelatin for the preparation of the media. Agar goes to the solution at 100 degrees Celsius and solidifies at 45 degrees Celsius. Till now, this was not replaced by any other substance. Next is the Joseph Licher. He was born in 1827. He developed a system of antiseptic surgery designed to prevent the microorganism from the entering wound in 1867. In 1878, Licher studied the lactic acid fermentation of milk and demonstrated the specific cause of milk souring. He developed a method for isolating a pure culture of bacterium named as Bacterium lactis. He said pure culture is referred as growth of mass of cells of same species in vessels. He developed a pure culture of bacteria using the serial dilution technique. he first introduced the principle of sterile surgery in medical practice, so he called as the father of antiseptic surgery. Next is the Alexander Fleming. He is the Scottish, born in year 1881. He was a physician by training but spent more of his time in studying bacteria. Sir Alexander Fleming in 1922 discovered the lysozyme, an enzyme found in the tears, saliva, sweat, could kill the bacteria, and first body secretion shown to have the chemotherapeutic properties. In 1928, he discovered the first antibiotic, which is the penicillin, which is isolated from the Penicillium notatum, which inhibiting the Staphylococcus aureus. This was an important milestone in medical microbiology. Florey and Chain isolated the penicillin in a pure culture. Next is the Selman A. Waxman in 1945 identified the streptomycin antibiotic from the soil bacterium. He also coined the term antibiotics, which referred as the chemical substance of microbial origin which is in small quantity exceed the antimicrobial activity. In 1927, he wrote a book on principles of soil microbiology. In 1939, Waxman and his colleagues undertook a systemic effort to identifying the soil organism producing a soluble substance that might be useful in control of the infectious disease, what are now known as antibiotics. Within a decade, 10 antibiotics were isolated and characterized, 3 of them with important clinical applications, which are actinomycin, streptomycin and neomycin. 18 antibiotics were discovered under his general direction. Next is the Edward Jenner. Edward Jenner was born in 1749. He was an English physician from England. Edward Jenner was the pioneer of a smallpox vaccine, which was the world's first vaccine. He accidentally learned that milkmaid who suffered from the cowpox were immune to the smallpox. The term vaccine and vaccinations are derived from variolae vaccinae, which is the smallpox of cow, the term devised by Jenner to denote the cowpox. The first successful immunization in smallpox by related but mild live virus of cowpox were introduced by Jenner in 1796. Jenner discovered that less pathogenic agent could confer the protection against a more pathogenic one. The patient next prepared the rabies vaccine by different approach. Thus, Edward Jenner was called as father of vaccination and the father of immunology. Next is the Elie Mechnikov. He is one of the associates of Louis Pasteur. He was a Russian zoologist who lived in Paris, and he did work at Institut Pasteur, France. He coined a term phagocytosis, which is the eating of the cells. In 1884, he published an account of phagocytosis, a defensive process in which the body white blood cells engulf and destroy the microorganism. He formulated the basic theory on which the science of immunology is founded, that the body is protected from the infection by leukocytes that engulf the invading organism, which is cellular immunity. He became the administrator to the Institut Pasteur in 1888 and eventually became its director. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1908. His notable contribution was on Bacillus bulgaris therapy and his underlying concept of health. He believed that streptococci and lactobacilli in yogurt assumes the residence in the intestine and replace the organism that contributes to aging. Despite eating a large quantities of yogurt, Mechnikov died an earlier death in 1916 at the age of 71. Next is the Paul Ehrlich. He is a German physician and scientist worked in a different field like hematology, immunology, antimicrobial chemotherapy. He invented the precursor technique to gram staining bacteria. Developed a method for staining tissues made it possible to distinguish between the different type of blood cell, which lead the capability to diagnose the numerous blood diseases. His laboratory discovered the aspinamine, which is a salvarsan, which was the first effective medical treatment for syphilis, thereby initiating and naming the concept of chemotherapy. Ehrlich was fascinated with the dyes that specifically bind and stain the microbial cell. He reasoned that one of the dye could be chemical that would selectively destroy the pathogen without harming the human cell, which is called as the magic bullet. He also made a contribution to the development of antiserum to combat the diphtheria and conceived a method for standardizing the therapeutic serums. In 1904, Ehrlich found that ditryfan red was active against the trypanosome that causes the African sleeping sickness that could be used therapeutically. In 1908, he received the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for his contribution to immunology. He was a founder and first director of what is now known as Paul Ehrlich Institute. Next is the Martinus William Beijerinck. He developed an enrichment technique to isolate the various group of bacteria. He also isolated the sulfur-reducing bacteria and sulfur-oxidizing bacteria from soil. He also isolated the free-living nitrogen-fixing bacteria, azotobacteria from soil, root-nodulating bacterium, rhizobium, lactobacillus, green algae were identified. He confirmed that tobacco mosaic virus caused the disease and it incorporated in the host plant to reproduce. Next is the Stranger Vinogradsky. He identified microorganisms involved in a nitrogen, carbon and sulfur cycle and also the nitrification process in the soil. He also identified the autotrophic nutrition of bacteria and he discovered the chemolithotropic nutrition of soil bacteria. He also discovered the anaerobic nitrogen fixing bacterium Clostridium pastorianum. Some other brilliant scientists also contributed in the development of microbiology. In 1892, Ivanovsky first introduced the mosaic disease of tobacco plant. In 1902, Walter Reed discovered the yellow fever. In 1909, Landsteiner and Popper demonstrated that poliomyelitis was due to the filtrable virus that transmitted the disease in monkey. In 1834, Ruska introduced the electron microscope. In 1930, Goodpasture developed the technique of viral cultivation in mammalian cell and in chick embryo. In 1718, Lady Mary Wortley Montagu gave an idea of immunization with a dried crust was to produce a mild form of smallpox. Agostino Bassi showed that silkworm disease was caused by fungus. In 1845, M.J. Berkeley demonstrated that great potato blight of Ireland was caused by fungus. Charles Chamberlain constructed a bacterial filter that removed a bacteria and larger microbes from the specimens. This led to the discovery of virus as disease-causing agent. Emil von Behring and Sebastian Burrow Kitasato induced the formation of diphtheria toxin antitoxin in rabbits. The antitoxin were effectively used in a treatment of human and provided the evidence for humoral immunity. Richard Petri, who devised the Petri plate, which is called as Petri dish. Ronald Rose in 1898 showed that malaria was transmitted by Anopheles mosquito. Thank you. I hope this video gave you a clear picture about the history of microbiology. I will catch you at the next video related to the microbiology.